Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down complex topics into clear, dynamic presentations. Today, we are diving deep into the release of GPT-5 and, what it really means for the future of how we all work.
When ChatGPT first exploded onto the scene back in 2022, this was the question, right? It was on everyone's mind. And that anxiety, it was especially high in creative fields like writing, where it really felt like a machine could suddenly do what used to take that special, uniquely human spark.
In this quote, it just nails the fear that was spreading everywhere. It honestly seemed possible that entire professions could just, poof, become obsolete overnight. But the reality that played out was, a whole lot more interesting than that.
Because here's the thing. That whole robot replacement story, it didn't quite pan out that way. Instead of replacing people, AI turned into something else entirely, a collaborator. Professionals didn't get fired. They just got a really powerful new tool.
Check this out. A 2024 survey from pro copywriters found that the majority, a whopping 60% of professional copywriters, now actively use these AI tools in their daily work. It really did become a partner, not some kind of rival.
So what are they actually doing with it? Well, they're using it like a brainstorming buddy, For things like kicking around initial ideas, getting a rough first draft on the page, or just rewording phrases that feel a little stale. But the final, polished work, the part that needs strategy and that real human touch, that still belongs to the professional.
But it wasn't all good news. This new partnership definitely had a cost. One academic study that looked at an online freelancing site found that between 2021 and 2023, the actual demand for freelance writers dropped by 30%. So, the tool was having a very real impact on people's wallets.
Okay, so just when we thought we had a handle on things, bam! On August 7th, 2025, OpenAI drops GPT-5. And this wasn't just some minor update, no way. This was a massive, fundamental shift in what AI could do, and it completely changed the conversation all over again.
All right, let's get into what makes this thing tick, because the real magic is happening behind the scenes. See, with the older versions, you kind of had to pick the right model for the job. But GPT-5, it's one unified, super intelligent system.
It uses this thing OpenAI is calling a real-time router. So when you ask it something, this router instantly figures out how complex your question is. If it's simple, you get a quick, easy answer. But if you ask it something really tough, it automatically kicks into this much more powerful thinking mode to really chew on the problem. And wow, when you look at the numbers, the difference is just staggering. When that deep thinking mode engages, GPT-5 absolutely crushes its predecessors on these really hard academic tests. We're talking PhD-level science, complex coding, and even competitive math.
But, academic tests are one thing. What about the real world? This is where it gets crazy. This benchmark here, it measures how well an AI can fix actual software problems from GitHub. GPT-4o could handle about 31% of them. GPT-5, it solves almost 75%. That's not just a little better, it's more than double the performance on problems real coders face every single day.
So on the one hand, this new power means it makes way fewer mistakes. Those hallucinations we hear about, some tests show they're down by 80%. But on the other hand, all that added intelligence came with a personality shift. And a lot of people found it a little less friendly.
And this is where it gets really interesting, this personality change. Just look at this side by side from TechRadar. On the left, you've got GPT-4o explaining how to change Xbox batteries. It's warm, it's chatty, it's got emojis. On the right, GPT-5 gives the same instructions, but it's totally formal, direct, and, honestly, a little cold.
And people noticed immediately. They did not like it. They missed their friendly AI buddy. This quote from a reviewer just summed it up perfectly. The AI went from being your helpful friend to being your kind of distant high school teacher.
So what does this all mean? Well, this new, smarter, and kind of formal AI is cementing its place as a serious professional tool. And that means we, all of us, need to develop some new skills and start thinking about some new rules.
You see, with these super powerful systems, you can't just type in a simple question anymore and hope for the best. To get great results, you have to get good at guiding it, at framing your requests in just the right way to steer its thinking. You've really got to learn how to drive the thing.
And that's why this whole new skill has just exploded onto the scene, prompt engineering. It's basically the art and science of talking to an AI to get it to do exactly what you want. It's all about designing and tweaking your questions to get the absolute best response.
But with all this power, you get some really thorny questions, right? For example, if an AI gives you bad advice, and that causes a real problem, who's on the hook? Is it you for asking? Is it the company that made the AI? It's a huge gray area that we're all still trying to figure out.
And then there's the other big one. These AIs learn from the internet, which is basically a giant mirror of us, flaws and all. So as we start using these tools for really important stuff, like hiring, the challenge is, how do we stop the AI from just learning and repeating our worst biases?
All right, so let's put it all together. We've got way more power, a less friendly vibe, and a bunch of new tricky questions. So what's the bottom line here? What's the big takeaway?
And here it is. The game has totally changed. It's not about being better than the AI anymore. It's about being better at working with the AI. The people who are going to be the most valuable are the ones who master using these tools to make their own skills and their own judgment even stronger.
So that leaves us with one final thought. This thing, it's not a toy anymore. It's not just a tool. It's your new coworker. A super smart, hyper-specialized, and maybe a little impersonal coworker. And you have to learn how to manage it, how to guide it, how to work alongside it. So the real question is, are you ready for that?